Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is, I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain that joke, as well as the purpose of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finances, and sometimes fun. Hey gang, welcome back to the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, and as always, I begin with thanks. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the feedback I get. You guys are always encouraging, and when I do get maybe not really a criticism or something, it's just really a support. It's an improvement feedback. So I want to say thank you. We can be found on every single podcast platform, and then YouTube. The whole YouTube audience has grown, so that's been fun. You know, now we're up around 430 episodes. 30 episodes ago, we didn't even do YouTube. So again, that's obviously Shane Dell and what's going on here at Pahenka Nissan. So thank you again for everybody. I appreciate it. What I actually would like to do today, by the way, last week's episode got the best responses. Last week we were talking about 3 things you want to do if you want to make the transition from full-time, making your side gig your full-time gig. Fantastic response to that. So I want to actually piggyback off that episode and keep talking, because the third point, I shared 3 things that you've got to do that I think are helpful if you're making that transition. And it was support from your partner, 100% agreement, get yourself financially lean. And then the third one was that you just can't worry about the critics. I went into that. Well, that third point resonated so well with folks, I decided, hey, let's do a whole episode on that. So the whole episode here is how to handle online critics. Now, I'm going to speak specifically to the entrepreneur, coach, small business owner, but I think this applies to almost anyone, because how are you going to handle online critics? Online critics are everywhere. I hate to use the word, it's so commonly used, but there's a toxicity right now where people just kind of love to troll, and they look to criticize and make people feel terrible. They can leave you in tears, they make you doubt your purpose, all of those things. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you a few tips that will help you as you navigate this online world about how to handle your critics. So that's this way I want to approach it. And I'm going to, again, speak specifically, I'm working on my coffee here. I'm going to speak specifically to the entrepreneur, small business owner, coach in that platform, but it may just be you. Your experiences are just as valid, but that's going to be the approach I'm going to take. So what are we doing here? If you are an entrepreneur, small business owner, coach, whatever the online business might be, how do you handle your critics? Okay? 3 things. I love 3 things. 3 ways that you can handle your critics. Let's jump in. Number one, talked about this last week. This number 1 is important. Remind yourself of your purpose. Do you have a purpose for what you're doing? And I believe it's got to be more than just greed for greed's sake. Okay? It can't just be, I want to make more money for money's sake. At least in the approach of me and the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. What's your purpose? When we made our leap full-time to capitalize marketing and consulting, it was because I want to provide opportunities for me and Amy on the back third or so of my life. I want to provide better for my children. I want to be able to support the community in ways that I was not able to do before. With that in mind, I went ahead. I wanted to help small businesses grow. I wanted to see that person who's like, my business isn't growing, can you help me? And do coaching and marketing to help them get there. So all of those purposes, right? That's when I say I want to help you capitalize on what you do best. That's the whole thing. I'm capitalizing what I do best, and I want to help you capitalize on what you do best. That's my purpose. So when I get a criticism that's unfounded from someone online or in person, first thing I tell myself to do is I remind myself of my purpose. And my purpose is always higher than someone's criticism. I want you to hear that. My purpose, your purpose, has got to be higher than your criticism. See, if all you're doing is just trying to do this for money's sake, then sometimes those criticisms are valid. But mine's not. Do I want to earn more revenue, and do I want to help others earn more revenue? 100%. But mine has a purpose for me and Amy, for my girls in the community, right? So, with that purpose, if I get unfounded criticism, I don't worry about it, because I'm like, that doesn't fit with my purpose. It's invalid. And if someone's like, Gordon, you just become so money focused or greedy. I'm not worried about that because that's not what I'm doing. It's not. I'm helping people earn more revenue. I'm earning more revenue. That's what I'm working about. But there's a purpose behind it. So when people just want to criticize me for that, if they do, I'm fortunate I don't get that many. But if I do, not worried about it. Because that's not consistent with my purpose. And if you know your purpose, got it written down, you got the mission statement, you know what you're doing. If you have that, invalid criticisms don't matter. You just brush them off. Just brush them off. Handling criticisms has got to start with you. You've got to have a purpose, and a purpose prepares you because you're going to have critics. So number one, when you have online critics, you got to make sure you know your purpose because your purpose outweighs the criticisms. Number two, this is very important. Your online presence, and we'll talk about in person in a minute, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever the case may be, that is your real estate. Specifically, Facebook and Instagram, that's your real estate. Yours. You own it. If people are coming on there and they're criticizing you and they're getting in the way of what you're trying to do there, block them, unfriend them, let them go. People are like, oh, I can't unfriend them. I don't get that at all. Like, just unfriend them. Block them. Keep them from your real estate. It's just like your home. You're not going to invite people in to purposely come in and criticize you or troll you. You know, you're in charge of that atmosphere. Treat your online platform like your home. And you want it to have an atmosphere that's comfortable and inviting and consistent with your purpose. Get the purpose, right? The second one is get rid of anybody who's not consistent with that. Don't hesitate to unfriend or block someone. Don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Guys, if you've got this high purpose and you're pursuing it, criticisms, just let them go. It's not consistent. But if they continue to be a problem, keep them from your real estate. Listen, let's talk about Facebook. You've got followers. You've got people who see what you do, like, comment regularly. Great. Like almost anything you put up, they come and they comment on, right? If you got someone consistently going into your feed, into your comments, and saying hateful, mean things, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting the people who follow you and support you and might affect your brand. Don't allow them to do it. Don't. You have no obligation to let them do that. It's your real estate. Don't keep people in your feeds that are doing that. Don't hesitate to block or unfriend someone. Again, if you have a high purpose, you're trying to create an atmosphere that's loving and giving and supportive. So whoever's there needs to be consistent with that. That's it. That's it. You have no obligation to keep them there. Again, it comes down to that purpose. If you've got a high purpose, don't worry about what they have to say. That purpose goes into the atmosphere that you have on your Facebook, Instagram page, whatever the case may be. And if there are people who are continually interacting there, who are disrupting that atmosphere, block them, unfriend them. Let them go. Let them go do whatever their purpose is. But they don't have to be a part of your atmosphere. They do not. They do not. And don't feel obligated. It doesn't matter if it's your aunt. It doesn't matter. If you know them, like, you got to slide over and say, hey, listen, thank you. But if you're going to continue to talk that way, you're not going to be a part of my feed. You're not going to be a part of my page. You know, or just unfriend them straight up. Don't worry about it. Your atmosphere, your page, your living room is what it is. So how do you handle online critics and trolls and that kind of thing? First of all, you've got to have a high purpose. If you have a high purpose, don't worry about what they have to say. 2, if they continue, don't hesitate to unfollow them, unfriend them, block, whatever the case may be. But protect the atmosphere that you are trying to create. And you protect it by letting them go. Now, 3. This one is, I think, the hardest to navigate. When you get critics, number 3, you've got to ask yourself, is there anything valid there that I can improve? Is there anything valid there I can improve? Now, if they're just hateful and mean, The answer is no. Then you go back to number 2. You unfriend them, block them, whatever. But if someone says something that you ask yourself, is that true? Then you've got to stop for a moment and do the heart examination work. We're continually growing in this thing. We've got to do the heart examination work. Is this working? Is this working? Is this working? Is what this person says valid? If it's not, don't worry about it. Go to number 2, block them, unfriend them. But if there's something valid there, then you improve. Like, you know what? I am asking people for the sale too much. Like on Instagram, you have folks that are like every single day, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Oh, it just wears you out, right? Just wears you out. They're not teaching in any way. They're just buy, buy, buy. If someone's like, Gordon, all you do is ask people to buy from you, or if that's the criticism you get, you ask yourself, is that what I'm doing? Okay, maybe I need to do that less. Maybe I need to give and serve more. And go back to them like, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to think about that. But I'm going to ask you to be kind in this way. And if they refuse to do that, then you go back to number 2, block them and unfollow them. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Now, there's a lot more that goes into it. That is a 3 simple step process. If you are anybody, you're going to get critics and trolls online. But if you're an entrepreneur, small business person, coach, you're going to get a lot of it. You just are. Because you're opening yourself up and you're asking for clients and customers, and you're going to get them. 1, if that purpose of yours is a high purpose, don't worry about it. Just continue pursuing your purpose. Theirs is not a high purpose. They're just out there to troll or hate. High purpose will help you deflect criticisms. 2, if they continue and they start disrupting the atmosphere and the ecosphere of your platform, block them, unfollow them, unfriend them, whatever your platform's language is, send them on. You don't have to invite anybody into your living room you don't want. And Facebook and Instagram is your digital living room. Don't hesitate. And if they reach out to you personally, you can either ignore them or just say, hey, your language wasn't consistent with, the atmosphere I want on my page. And finally, number 3, you do have to ask yourself, is there any validity in their criticism? If there is, make the changes. If there's not, say, hey guys, and just move them on. Go back to number 2. Block them, unfriend them, whatever the case may be. This doesn't solve every problem, guys. I know that. I've received some criticism and trolling before that just hurts. It hurts. I remember early on when I hopped on TikTok, the first thing I got was some really hateful comments. And you just got to roll with it, They disappeared. They were quick trolls that just showed up and disappeared and that kind of thing. I understand it. I've been through it, and it'll happen more. However, you got to remind yourself, do I have a high purpose? Ground yourself in your high purpose. 2, if they continue to disrupt the atmosphere of your platform, you got to unfriend them, block them, unfollow them, whatever the case may be. And 3, do ask yourself, is there anything valid about their criticism? If there is, improve and grow. If there's not, move them on over to number 2. Guys, this is a larger conversation. I look forward to talking about it more. But right now, in light of the conversation from the prior episode where we talked about making the shift from one gig to your side gig and making it your full-time, I wanted to address it because it came up. If I can encourage you and help you in any way, please let me know. If you want to know more about our coaching program, then just go to capitalizeyourbest.com or just reach out to me directly. I'll be glad to help you. And as always, I am thankful for you being here, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Thanks, friends, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
How do you shorten the time it takes to buy a car? Car buying just got easier. Pohanka365.com lets you complete as much or as little of the car buying process online. Pohanka365.com. Car buying simplified. Anytime, anywhere.
Small business owners, you should be praised for wanting to grow your business. That's a good thing, and not everybody has the guts to do it. As a business owner myself, I know you've overcome obstacles that people don't even know about. Hi, my name is Gordon Duncan, the owner of Capitalized Marketing and Consulting, and I want you to know that if your business hasn't grown like you want it to, it's not your fault. If it's not COVID getting in the way, it's ridiculous things like changing social media algorithms. You're right in thinking that very few people are doing small businesses any favors right now. But Capitalize Marketing and Consulting is here to help. We've created a 90-day course that is guaranteed to grow the revenue of your business. It will give you the tools that you've been looking for, and as a certified coach, I would be with you along the way. If you would like to learn more about our program, just visit CapitalizeYourBest.com and get started enjoying the success you deserve. Again, that's CapitalizeYourBest.com, and I can't wait to celebrate all you accomplish.